Hey there. Have you been struggling with getting people to take the reins and being more proactive, but then when you tell them what you need done, it seems to all go sideways in one way or another? Well, there might be more than meets the eye on this one, and today's video is going to give you the help you need. Today, we're talking about autonomy. This is the part that makes control freaks sweat and chaos makers finally learn to thrive. Delegate and support autonomy. The A in my Delegate framework, that's D.E.L.E.G.A.T.E, is allow autonomy. This idea is much more nuanced than we give it credit and usually devolves into one of two options. Most leaders either back off completely or cling tighter than a sweaty handshake at a networking event. You know the kind I'm talking about. Let's get a better understanding. Allowing autonomy does not mean letting people wing it without support. It means giving them agency, the ability to think for themselves, make decisions, and bring their own creative expression to the table. At the same time that it means giving them some guardrails. Because people don't just want to complete tasks, they want to contribute to them in a meaningful way. I commissioned an artist to create a piece of his art for me with the colors of my business logo on it. At one point he asked, "Do you want it to look exactly like your logo?" And I said, "Well, I'd like the colors to stay the same and the background to be black, but in looking at your art, it still has to have your essence because that's what I love about it. This would be your expression of my logo." What I loved about that moment was the smile that came across his face. We got each other immediately. But let's be real. Not every situation calls for the same level of freedom. Autonomy often gets misinterpreted as no boundaries, no rules, just go nuts. And it might mean that sometimes, but not always. This is where great leaders adapt. Sometimes you'll need to be more directive. Clear, detailed, involved, especially if the person's new on your team and less experienced with whatever it is you're asking them to do. Other times, it's hands off. Here's the outcome, you decide how to get there. This is especially important if the person on your team is very experienced and knows the ropes really well. Too much oversight really does start to feel like micromanaging and becomes unnecessary and doesn't meet them where they're at. And sometimes you'll have to rescue the situation from a Chad-level leadership fail, where autonomy turned into an unsupervised dumpster fire. "I thought we were innovating." No, Chad, you were improvising with zero guardrails. Yes, and, Chad, yes, and. Here's the leadership truth. You don't lead people the same way. You lead them the way they need to be led. That means observing their confidence, experience, and the complexity of the task, and adjusting your level of involvement accordingly. If it's new territory, be more hands-on. If they've done it 100 times, probably back off. If they're stuck, step in, but don't take over. It's not about being consistent. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, adored by little statesmen and philosophers and divines, said Ralph Waldo Emerson a long time ago. Still totally relevant. Leadership is about being responsive. The goal isn't control, it's capacity. It's being calm, confident, and aligned. You want people who can think, act, and lead without you. That only happens when they're given the space to try, to stretch, and yes, sometimes to stumble, because failure with feedback, that's how people grow. Oh, and stay tuned for a lot more on feedback too. It's my favorite. And remember, you can be flexible without being flaky, and you can be responsive without being reactive. Just don't be Chad. Tell me when you've hit the sweet spot with autonomy during a task or when you've had the opposite experience in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. And of course, hit subscribe to get more great stuff on how to thrive in the 9 to 5 and beyond. Happy thriving!